Welcome back, guys, to Trails to Azure, where, of course, after our Morica questing last time with Minif, well, I wouldn't say driven off by us, but more Minif drove off. Hopefully our Morica village is safe and there'll be no trouble to come from a guy with, by the looks of it to me, red constellation beasts in his van. Hopefully no trouble. Anyway, we continue on our Chapter 3 Day 2 patrol now, because we've still got at least half of Crossbell to see. The top, the bottom, quite a lot of places. And I think the police academy I missed too. But first of all, before we go out, I'll go out towards Mainz first, and we'll resume for the Cathedral. Let's return here after, of course, our quest that took place. Howard just contacted me. He told me the incident in our Morica village has been safely resolved. I heard about that awful swindler too. What sort of horrible human being even thinks to do something like that? I don't know, someone who sees easy money and managed to do it one time, so why not try again? I'm getting tired of playing alone. When's Papa coming back? In a while, is how I say it, kiddo. In a while. I've already checked the lawyer's office, by the way. No Ian Grimwood at all. Right, let's get out there. As subs come in, B8 gives a sub, and Blackstorm is now there for the 66 months. Thank you very much. Let's get out there on the Mainz Manning path. The other thing that I've done since last session is, of course, I've now got crabs. Quite a lot of crabs, in fact. For the bait, for the thing over near St. Ursula. Remember, we couldn't do it because I needed the right bait? Well, I've got crabs now. Snow crabs, just to clarify. I've heard a lot about the Rosenberg studio. It's been around for a long while now, but I've never seen its owner visit the cathedral. I wonder what kind of person he is. Now you're talking about that. Oh, yeah. Should we be going this way first? Because that's where we're going. I'm just worried that I might bump into an event. Oh, good point. Although the Rosenberg studio is right up the road, I've never seen its owner visit the cathedral. Yes. And if Sister Juju gets mad, here's what we're going to do. Why do I have to be the one? Because if you don't, I'm going to tell Kia that you wet the bed. You wouldn't. Fine. Just this once, okay? Come on, let's go! What are you doing to Sister Juju now? I realised something while Sister Marble was walking me through the motions of teaching a Sunday school class yesterday. Children are only motivated to learn something if they're interested in it. Shock. So the trick is you have to get them interested in what you want to teach. That's easier said than done, though. I feel as though I've grown a bit as a Sunday school teacher thanks to yesterday's lesson. There's still so much more to learn if I'm going to be half as good as Sister Marble. One step at a time, though. Didn't you also learn that, wait, it's good to be interested in the subject yourself or understand the subject before you teach it? Please don't be that adage that has been thrown around. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is in other countries. I don't know what country it originated from. But who's heard of the phrase, those who can't teach? Do you know what I mean? It's not a good phrase, is it? Even after Alios started to make a name for himself with the guild, Guy would still drag him here to drink with us on occasion. Or watch the two of us drink at least. He'd just sit there with a straight face while me and Guy got 3 sheets to the wind. Oh, I wouldn't have given to see Alios cut loose and get plastered off his divine blade ass for once. I used to drag Alios here to drink with us sometime. I wish he would have knocked back a few himself. Instead, he just watched Guy and me. Get drunk. I've heard there's been a slew of strange monster sightings around the state. The government even recommended that citizens not venture out on the highways anymore. Fortunately, the cemetery isn't too far from city limits. As we understand it, there's only one active cryptid currently. Traveling as far as the cathedral shouldn't pose very much danger. Unfortunately, the cemetery isn't too far from city limits. Oh, hello everyone. Good to see you again, Reese. Thank you again for the information you provided us yesterday. I'm happy that I could help. So what brings you here today? Well, actually, Ellie told Reese about their plans to visit the doll studio. Rosenberg studio. I'm aware that it has some sort of connection to the society. That's grouse-ridder intel for you, I guess. It's my understanding that Georg Rosenberg is a reasonable man who knows right from wrong. But still, that doesn't change the fact that he has ties to Ouroboros. I urge you to exercise caution if you intend to meet with him. Don't worry, we will. Thanks for looking out for us, Reese. Make sure that you're prepared for anything before you head to the doll studio. And please, be careful, everyone. Yes, those who can't teach actually did try to start as an original, like, ad campaign, etc. as a good thing. The problem is how words and slogans like that can be used to also insult. And I think nowadays, it possibly carries more of the latter than the former. More disparaging than a, hey, you can't actually do that profession, but you're very knowledgeable in it. Why don't you teach it? For whatever reason. But now it's more like, yeah, you're not good enough to do that. Do you know what I mean? Which is a bit sad. I notice that Sister Reese carries a copy of the Testaments with her at all times. You can find her poring over it at nearly every moment she has to spare. How diligent of her. That's a good habit to have, you know. Sister Reese carries a copy of the Testaments with her everywhere she goes and reads it whenever she has time to spare. That she does. I do wonder how the Archbishop feels about this. A black cat passed in front of me this morning. What rotten luck. I have a business negotiation later today, and here I am already crossed by a bad omen. I'm going to have to pray even more than usual today. Yeah, going to have to pray or chuck you off this cliff. Disparaging black cats. Just my luck that the black cat would pass by me on the same day I have a business negotiation scheduled. Oh God, us almighty, please rid me of this foul omen. Black cat's best cats, he says, starting a war with all the other cat owners. The Archbishop rigorously follows the Septian Church's principles in everything he does. Some may call him obdurate, but I truly respect that aspect of him. Regarding yesterday's matter with that flowering grass, I do hope that you're not still nosing around about it. My God, you say a sentence like that, it's going to make me want to. There are facets to this vast continent that are better left untouched. I advise you to know when to tread lightly. That's a threat. I strongly suggest you tread lightly around such topics, if not drop them entirely. My God, this guy doesn't know how to, like, brush things under, like, the table or anything, does he? Oh, Lloyd, I just remembered. You all came by to see me yesterday, didn't you? Was there something you wished to ask me about? There was, but don't worry about it. It wasn't important. From what we heard yesterday, pluromacrass is a sensitive subject within the church. It's probably best not to bring it up with her. Really now? Well, if you insist. Just know that I'm always happy to help whenever I'm available. Don't be afraid to come to your old teacher now and then. What else is an old teacher good for? Don't be afraid to ask anything of me. You love little boy children. Well, you're one of the correct people. now I'm creating an artificial divide for no reason. What am I doing? Right, let's get our car to try and bypass any event triggers. Do you know what I mean? Is this a dumb thing to think about? Oh, I need to go to the next place, don't I? Why warp when I can run? Where's my car? Still playing hide and seek, are you, kiddo? Alright, we're looking good. Oh yeah, one other thing I did since last session was actually make some money. Let's go to the Crossbell Police Academy and then go up to Mainz. So I did go around and shot lots of monsters on the street that could be shot instantly and killed, and I fought some shining bombs that were appearing there too, because it's pretty nice. So I now have got myself to a total of 1,000 regular Sepith, 1,500 of the higher elements, and a fair whack of mirror. Not the 100,000 I needed for everything in there, but still. Us prison officers have a tough job. It's easy to get mentally fatigued having to keep such a close eye on criminals around the clock. I know the feeling too well. Other than mandatory holidays, I rarely get a day off. Still, someone's got to do it. It takes a special kind of fortitude to work at a place like this, in my opinion anyway. No extra dialogue there. As far as we're aware, there haven't been any further sightings of the cryptid that appeared in the forest today. I believe the bracers that came by are investigating elsewhere at the moment. Okay. Is that the one that lived? I got some brown liquid here. I'm just being gifted stuff that I can give to you in the end, so it's just like pass it along the chain a little bit. Oh shoot, I'm late. I was supposed to be at the training first thing this morning. The instructor's never going to let me hear the end of this. Wait, did we go to the... I think we did go to the Police Academy. I'm not even sure now. Is this girl your old neighbour, Lloyd? The one who recently enrolled here? Yeah, sir. It's crazy to think that we could be co-workers in the future. This is taking me back to my early days as a cadet. They really put you through the ringer at the beginning. I know exactly what it's like to get chewed out by the instructors too. I did go here. At least I'm pretty sure I had this conversation before. What? Well, let's go to places we do know we're supposed to be going. Thankfully, it's not a big loss. Did we have that conversation before? I'm confused now. Right, we are at Mainz. ICL will be debuting their revival performance the day after tomorrow. I'd love to see one of their shows someday, even if just once. Maybe I'd sit next to a fine gentleman with an appreciation for theatre. We could strike up a romantic chat. I can't tell if she's more interested in the show or the imaginary gentleman. Doesn't she like bad boys? I'd love to see one of ICL's shows some days, even if just once. Maybe I'd end up meeting a fine gentleman with an appreciation for theatre. And me. Dare to dream. Kimmy's been playing with Hoffman's kiddo all day. He's the only kid around her age around these parts, so I don't care if they're friends. They're not gonna end up, no dating or anything, right? Who knows what'll happen in the future between Kimmy and that Alec boy? I better give Hoffman a stern warning about this. If there's literally only one person for her to have a bond with, it is a slightly higher likelihood. Childhood friends and all. Let's go up here first. Guys dragged me by my collar to the inn yesterday. You'll never guess what happened next. Luca, of all people, came over to cheer me up. Thank the goddess, she doesn't hate me after all. Wow, he managed to make it happen. I never imagined Luca, of all people, would go out of her way to cheer me up. Thank the goddess, she doesn't hate me after all. Marlowe's finally back in the groove of things now. The guy's lucky as me to look out for him. He definitely is, kinda. Good job, Gents. My grandma's been pressuring me to get hitch. I get that she's happy about me not skipping work anymore, but marriage, that's more trouble than it's worth. I can't provide for a family the way Max and Chief Hoffman do. Besides, I prefer to go things solo. My grandma can push me all she wants. Marriage is more trouble than I'm willing to deal with. I prefer to go things solo. Amy's the one with boyfriend fever here. Let her handle it, yeah. Marlo's been awfully cheery today. Just yesterday, he looked like his entire world had fallen apart. Well, as long as he's working hard, what do I care either way? That Marlo. What could have happened to get him so chipper in just one day? Hell if I know, but hey, as long as he's working hard, I'm not about to complain. We should go and check her out, see what she did. See how she feels about the situation. Alright, I've got to mine as much as I can today. Yeah, might as well aim for tomorrow's quota 2 while I'm at it. Max is on the go. Childhood friend video game syndrome will strike out. Well, it's not just video games, is it? Anime syndrome. Just Japanese media syndrome. What in the world could Alec be yelling his head off about this time? Honestly, how did that child turn out so rowdy? I'd like to find out what Alec's yelling about. Are you over here? Yeah. Echo! Echo, co. I love my daddy! My daddy, yaddy, yaddy. Wow, it really does yell the same thing back at you. Does that mean there's another Kimmy on the other side of the mountain? Aren't echoes the coolest? What should I yell next? Bogies. Yeah, that's the one. That was the old game. God, that thing made me feel bad every time. Never played it myself, but having it like being played on TV was weird. Kids TV trying to be cool. I don't know. I had no idea there was Doll's Studio off the midpoint of the mountain path, and I live here. Guy who owns it never comes up to our village either. You gotta be some kind of oddball to live in the mountains by yourself like that. I mean, bold of you to presume aloneness. Have you ever been there? Marlo's finally getting back to his regular self. Speaking as a bystander, the way Luca consoled Marlo seemed ice cold. But I guess if he's back on his feet, then all's well that ends well. Marlo's back on his feet, so that's the end of that mess, isn't it now? I still don't get what all the fuss was about yesterday. I mean, I did what Gantz asked. I went up to Marlo and said, "Can you just cheer up already?" Well, it is what it is. Back to cleaning. Did you really just say that? What a drag. Anyway, back to cleaning.
Yeah, Gantz asked me
to do this, so can you just cheer up already? Ah, life is good. Life is great. Life is wonderful again. It's all rosy. We live in the life of, Nielsen. Hello. Mr. Nielsen? Is that you, Lloyd? Yes, hello again. I'm glad you remember me. I never forget the voices of those I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Is this man... Yeah, he's that famous journo they met a little while back. That's right, Marcel Nielsen. What brings you to Mainz, if I may ask? I have an interview scheduled with Mayor Bixen, as it so happens. I'll be asking him for his account on Mainz's origins as a septium mining village, as well as how it has changed in the modern day. The topic of independence looming over Crossbell, I thought it pertinent to reflect on the state's history. Not a bad idea. That's a very insightful perspective to have, for lack of a better phrase. I'll consider it a compliment. My circumstances do give me a penchant for taking things a long way around. But enough about me. I heard you all contributed to stopping the terrorist attack at the trade conference. With that in mind, I had the urge to interview you about the matter. Would you mind terribly? You see, there are several lingering questions I have regarding the motivations behind that attack. I suspect speaking with you will help me uncover the meaning of it all. The meaning behind the terrorist attack? That may be difficult to divulge. Tio's right. Information about that case is restricted to members of the state government and police force. Even if we do take your questions, we'll be pretty limited in what we can disclose. That's understandable and well within my expectations. Nevertheless, I believe there is still merit to be had in discussing the matter. What do you say? Our last interview with him was definitely insightful. Participating in a second one could be a good idea if we had the time. Ooh. Alright, we'll agree to your interview. Splendid, thank you for your time. Let's begin right away then. Inside Scoop, the terrorist attack. Thank you all again for agreeing to this interview. Our topic of discussion is the recent terrorist attack that occurred at the West Samuria Trade Conference. To begin, I would like to confirm the identity of the perpetrators involved. Could you do that for me, Lloyd? The Imperial Liberation Front from Erebonia, the anti-immigration faction from Calburn. Who were the terrorists that attacked the trade conference is what we should start with. It was all of the above. Two terrorist cells from within the major powers were working in conjunction with one another. One was the Imperial Liberation Front from Erebonia. The other was comprised of members of Calbur's anti-immigration faction. They still need a better name. That's right, those were indeed the parties responsible. I will refrain from delving into their backgrounds and founding principles. However, it is worth noting that the two groups have no history of collaboration, and yet they mounted a united front against the conference. I'm given to understand that they were abetted by a so-called society that had also been operating covertly in Liberl. Yeah, the Society of Ouroboros. Thinking back, the terrorists were making use of archaisms at the trade conference. Do you know of the society, Mr. Nielsen? I've come across their name before, yes. They're a bit of an enigma, to be certain. I take it your work has led to you learning of them as well. We've heard a thing or two. Or three. And the more we hear, the shadier they seem to be. At any rate, we can say definitively that their true aims are completely shrouded in mystery. Trying to deduce their objectives, yes, at this stage would be entirely in vain. I'm inclined to agree with that. Let us move on to the next topic then. I would like to review the intentions and perspectives of the two major powers in regards to the attack. My sources tell me that each nation employed outside forces in secret. Yes, it was a very political play. Both of these forces contributed greatly to the resolution of the incident. What I find peculiar is that although the Empire and Republic foresaw the attack, they elected not to prevent it, leaving both terror groups at large. Yes, the political play side of it. I have to wonder why that is. What do you suppose they were trying to achieve, Lloyd? What were Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith's objectives in regards to the terrorist attack? Expose each terrorist group. I'm pretty sure that these terrorists would have exposed themselves in their native countries already and were an issue. Contain opposing political factions, or force Mayor Kreutz to resign. So, it's gonna be this one. Because it wasn't to force Mayor Kreutz to resign. It was... Part of their play was to, of course, get them to allow the military movement of their own people to therefore contain Crossbell and basically neuter anything that Crossbell may want, desire, do anything even further. Take away any chance for them to be independent. So it's not... So it's basically going on the not one, which is this one. I mean, we know that it's not this and it's not this. But what do you mean by contain opposing political factions? I'm assuming it's not... I'm assuming it's the scenario I just said about forcing Mayor Cross to resign. Because they were... I'm pretty sure they were working together on this, after all. So the opposing political factions being us... Oh, sorry. Incorrect. The opposing political factions being... Yeah, what's going on in their countries. That's correct. Yes, now I get this one. I think I figured it out now. But it's this. Each terrorist group was backed by a political faction that stands at odds with its respective country's leader. I think their top priority was to keep those two opposing factions in check. In Chancellor Osborne's case, he was looking to put pressure on Erebonia's noble faction. As for President Rocksmith, he was looking to deter anyone who agrees with Calvard's radical nationalists. I agree. That is the only logical explanation for why they allowed the terrorists to remain at large. As a result, the public tide has turned in their favour. Citizens from either country are raising their voices against the aforementioned factions. Political leverage, then, was the end goal. On a separate note, Lloyd, you identified this as their top priority, did you not? I found that curious, yeah. To be honest, I didn't think that was their top priority. I said the other thing first. Do you mean to imply that they had another objective in mind as well? Well... Lloyd? It's about squeezing us. Yeah, I can imagine one other objective. I also think it was to gain a foothold for their advancement into Crossbell. Oh. Crossbell is in their crosshairs, so to speak. That much was clear as day when both leaders offered to station their troops in Crossbell at the conference. Yes, and the terror attack fueled the narrative that Crossbell cannot keep its borders safe by itself. That only places further pressure on the state to accept their proposals. The non-aggression pact that LaBelle introduced has essentially lost all power as a deterrent at this point. Moreover, Crossbell's independence proposal has placed it square in the public eye of both the Empire and the Republic. I guess Lloyd has a bigger or wider view than I do then, because I was very Crossbell-centric in the way that I prioritize those two things. Thereby redirecting the attention of either country's citizens away from their domestic conflicts and discontent. So even that was by design. I've heard of two birds with one stone, but this is more like downing a flock with a boulder. Well then, I see you've all considered this just in as much detail as I have. If you don't mind, I would like to move us on to our final topic. It is apparent that the two countries had a mutual understanding as far as the attack was concerned, yes? Do you believe this to be evidence of a greater alliance between them? Yeah! Everybody in Calvert formed an alliance through their handling of the terrorist attack. Just even them saying that, it's just gonna... Oh. It got a chuckle at me straight away. Yes, a permanent one. That's what we'll choose. We just have to be super dumb. No, I think that's out of the question. Ultimately, they both have the same objective, sole possession of Crossbell. Yes, that's exactly right. In the end, the incident at the conference was no more than a one-time instance of them acting in lockstep. Furthermore, Crossbell is simply too valuable for either country to let it remain as a simple buffer zone. There's no room for allyship if each aspires to take it for themselves. Their parallel actions tip their hands as to their conflicting motivations. Well... For a blind man, your aim is impressive. So this was all just a warm-up for the real thing. Eventually, they're going to go at each other guns blazing. Yes, and I imagine the war of intelligence they're waging will only worsen from here. The increasing activity from the Jaegers and criminal syndicates in Crossbell can likely be attributed to that as well. Unfortunate as it is, I would not be surprised to see a resurgence of inexplicable incidents such as those from Crossbell's past. Inexplicable incidents? What do you mean? No, never mind that. Forgive me for speaking out of turn. That aside, I believe we sorted out a number of matters regarding the terror attack. Asking for this interview was a wise decision indeed. Thank you for your time. Likewise, this was very enlightening. I think we understand the current situation more clearly now. It's almost like they do tests to say, are you paying attention, children, when you're playing? It was almost more informative than I was prepared to handle. I'm glad to hear you found it beneficial. It would be wonderful if we could chat like this again sometime, future circumstances permitting. Of course, we'll be more than happy to. Inside scoop, the terrorist attack completed. I'm guessing somewhere someone would have told me that you were here, but we haven't actually been near Crossbell News yet. We haven't been to Mayor Bixon yet. Thank you for indulging me with an interview today, SSS. I would love to chat again should the opportunity arise. Luckily, my patrols be thorough. If you stick something on the wall, I'd probably miss it. Depends how late into the night is. Because you didn't even tell me someone was staying, but why would you actually? You would never just randomly say to someone that someone's staying in your inn. That would be weird. It's been a tough task finding potential spouses for our miners. Then again, Gantz, Marlowe, and Logi don't seem to have any intention of settling down anytime soon. Perhaps the new generation doesn't value marriage as much as mine did. That's actually true. That's kind of true of our thing, because I guess it's kind of been messed with so much. The place has been noticeably busier than normal these days. We've had to think twice before submitting any non-urgent requests. I was told that they're investigating the large mysterious monsters that have been emerging throughout the state. It gives me this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. I feel something wicked may be brewing in Crossbell. I mean, it's too bad we can't just say, hey, by the way, name of this chapter's Budding Turmoil. Beware. On the sly. Not like our guys know. Loki seems to be living his life to the fullest now that he's gotten his act together at work. Now all he has to do is find himself a wife. Then I can finally rest easy. Woohoo! Well, I suppose I shouldn't get my hopes up anytime soon. No, you should get... She wants to date. She's really into it. Go get your daughter or granddaughter, whatever. One of them. My husband has been strangely eager about going to work lately. Must be Gantz and Loki's enthusiasm rubbing off on him. He sets out for the mine so early in the morning that I can barely get his lunch ready in time. Oh, cool. I guess if you're passionate in your work, that's great. Especially if it earns some extra money. That'd be great too. If I had not done his first interview, this one would not have been available. Okay, that's a nice thing to read in the chat. I say nice in the I hate missables, and I don't believe they should be in games party. Join my political cause. The I hate missables, and I don't believe they should be in video games party. Also, post-game is a sham. Let our games end with the credits. Have an epilogue if you want. Just have a neat ending. I like post-game content. Can't that be part of an epilogue and then we do the credits? I don't know. Would you vote for me in the gaming elections? No. Don't worry about it. Right, back to the SSS garage. Classic Nielsen hiding away in a random in-room with a quest for you. Well, Mayor Bixon didn't say that he was going to meet with Nielsen. I'm a bit worried. I kind of want to go to the Harbour District now, but I know our next quest in the Harbour District. I just want to go there to kind of like check out. I'll go by the back alley, actually. I haven't done that yet. Because I'm wondering where the lead-in was to find him. I almost voted for you, then you became a post-game hater. To be honest, one of the best post-games I've played of a game was where it had a credits at the end of the thing, and then it had the post-game section. And when the post-game section ended, it had another credits. I'm trying to remember what game that was. But I really liked it. Melda's using a communication device installed beneath the counter. Do we have another quest? Bloody hell. Damn that man. The old foster isn't picking up at all. What are you doing, Imelda? Oh, it's you, kids. I was merely trying to contact Georg to ask him about my new doll. Meister Georg, you mean? Yes, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him all day. I'm sure he's there, but if he's in the middle of work, he won't be answering for a while. That's right. We learned that Imelda and the Meister knew each other when we took on that request earlier in the year. It seems like as good a chance as any is to ask her about this studio. So what are you kids doing here? Did you need something? If it's an antique you want, you know I'm always ready to make a sale. Not quite. We wanted to ask you a few quick questions. Lloyd asked Imelda about Meister Georg and the Rosenberg studio. Why exactly are you kids snooping around about that place? We were just curious, that's all. Really now? Well, alright, but it's not as though I know very much about Georg myself. After all, he's a reclusive hermit who whittles his days away tinkering with dolls. Hardly the talkative sort. I already mentioned that he's handling Arkansas sets, but that's about all I can tell you. That wasn't as helpful as we were hoping. As long as I can make a profit from his dolls, I couldn't care less. That old coot's private life is hardly any business of mine. So much for them being pals. He's just a cash cow to her. Perhaps the professional nature of their relationship is the very reason they're still on good terms. Sounds like our only choice is to visit the man himself. Yeah, you're right. Let's go, guys. I'm the only person that old fogey does business with, and even I don't know much about him. After all, he's a reclusive hermit who whittles his days away tinkering with dolls. Hardly the talkative sort. Still, as long as I'm making a profit off his dolls, what do I care? What you care indeed. I want this. I've always... See, this is the thing. When I was farming that money, I was like, do I farm loads of money and then potentially break the game by having stuff such as this really early? It's just so tempting. It's 100% totally what I'd do if I wasn't doing a Let's Play. 100% that's how I'd play it. Because it's not hard to farm Sepith just shooting guys on the road. It really isn't. I so want this. Some would argue if that's the way you play it, then you should do your Let's Play that way, but... This way leads to Crimson & Co. The Red Constellation's been laying low since the attack on the conference. Doubt we'd be able to get any info out of them right now. Yeah, we're better off not hanging around here. No! Come back! I'll make you respawn. My rival hostess invited her friends to boost her numbers. Oh, that's totally playing dirty. Fine, if that's the way she wants it, then I've got a few tricks up my sleeve too. There's no way in Gehenna that I'll let my rival out hostess me. I'm coming for that crown, baby! We're throwing a happy hour sale today. Wait until you get a load of our babes all glammed up. They're gonna knock you flat on your ass, or my name ain't Bishy. Live for the moment, guys. You never know what tomorrow will bring, so come on in and have the time of your lives. Let's make a wishy with Bishy, eh? We're throwing a happy hour sale today. Live for the moment, guys. Sure. I refuse. An interesting rumor came through my door today. Supposedly some Carvadian terrorists that evaded capture were arrested in Altair. Word in the underworld is that Hayway was tracking them as well. Hayway was on that train too? I love how we never realized that those guys were Hayway, despite the fact they were literally in the clothes that they normally are. I guess we were too busy running past. I didn't notice them, but it doesn't surprise me that they were hunting those terrorists down. I can't believe, like, come on, aren't you the detective who notices everything? Isn't that supposed to be partly your character? We managed to count passengers on a train. 3 attempts, sure, but still. I wouldn't be so tired if that geezer last night hadn't been so clingy. I kept telling him we're not that kind of establishment, even. Dirty old goat. Who was it? Better not being Pierre again. After we just... Goddamn. I'm gonna part like I never part before today. Hey, you looking for a good time? Our club will make your wildest dreams come true. It's the entertainment district time. Do you think that's a secret strategy to winning at slots? I feel like some machines pay out better than others. I refuse. It's too much of a game of chance. Doris has been working extra hard lately. She's always excelled at cleaning, but now even her customer service is stellar. Must be because of Aaron's guidance. Sure thing. Phew, another hard day at work. Oh, excuse me. I can't forget to smile in front of our guests. I'm happy working hard so others can have a comfortable stay. Feels good to be needed, if that makes any sense. Wow, I feel like she's been indoctrinated by her boss. I will enjoy my job. I will enjoy my job.